All right, Sunday Night Football, Rams at Lions, highest total of the week at 51. Who you got?
Well, I'm going with your boy Colby Parkinson here. I agree
Nice.
with you. He's going to open up in the Tyler Higbee role, have him around like an 75-80% routes run rate, which is excellent in this offense. He's flashed, pass catching skills back in Seattle too. So I think he could be as good as Higbee, if not better. Who knows? So absolutely worth
enough,
it.
right?
Yeah, I know they did pay him enough. And, I could see him being fairly high owned here, but I don't care. This is one of those situations. Just give me all the Parkinson in this spot. He's too cheap. And then on the Lions side, I'm really just trying to attack when it comes to dart throws. Outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, it's kind of unclear, who's going to be the number 3, how it's going to sort out. So I think Khalif Raymond, at least for week 1, sets up perfectly. He's stepped up whenever needed in the past, and I think they kind of need him to be the number 3 receiver until they find more of a long-term option. I know Dan Campbell was kind of disappointed in Donovan Peoples-Jones being shitty, but I could have told him that. But they did bring in Tim Patrick, who I think once he does learn the playbook, could take over that Josh Reynolds role that they're clearly trying to replace. But in the meantime, Khalif Raymond going to be an excellent number 3 receiver for them. So I think he's a good dart throw here. And depending on if they call anybody up, Isaiah Williams could be the only other receiver on the depth chart. So he might be worth a dart throw considering how cheap he'll be. Not a lot to catch a single pass or play a single snap, but on a top-heavy slate like this, if you have him and he just gets a few points, it could really differentiate your lineup because you could have one more, elite player in this game. So Isaiah Williams, if they don't call anybody up, could be another dart throw. But I think just pound for pound, I think Khalif Raymond is probably the best dart throw if you're trying to attack, the Lions' number 3 receiver slot. But other than that, the Lions' offense is very top heavy. We know the ball's going to Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, Dave Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. But I think Raymond's the guy specifically I think could surprise people Sunday night.
Yeah, and I like Williams too because he won that number 4 spot, even though he is a slot, and they really needed an X, which is why they signed Patrick, Allen Robinson, and Peoples-Jones. Like, they needed a bigger guy who can line up on the line of scrimmage and block and whatnot. But Williams just outplayed, Antoine Green before he got hurt, and just a gaggle of other uninspiring options. Yeah. So they're like, hey, we're not just gonna just like create our roster based on need when we have a guy that's playing well. We're going to take the best players. So I like the philosophy, and they feel like he is their 4th best receiver. So, they probably, I'm guessing they almost certainly will call one of Patrick, Peoples-Jones, or Robinson up. Maybe it's DPJ just because he knows the playbook the most and it's week 1. But Williams could still play over them, and they could all just kind of be situational. But the fact that he was able to outperform a lot of other guys and really earn that spot speaks volumes. So yeah, he's a sneaky play. And I mean, like you said, there's going to be so much Amon-Ra. You're going to have to, or you're more than likely going to have to find somebody cheap on the Lions, and maybe it's either going to be one of those receivers. And also, don't forget about Brock Wright, because maybe they just go more 2 tight end. That could be interesting as well, because they love him. He maybe he gets a touchdown or something like that. But yeah, I like Williams. I think he's sneaky.